Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in, and I've been meaning to make this video for several months now because this winter I noticed so much tourists in Murmansk and Murmansk kind of region area, and especially Asian tourists, and I really think that it's awesome that this industry is growing, because I really believe that we have really unique nature. And just for the record, this winter is really awesome. It's really beautiful. Like I just want to show you the view in my window right now. Just look at that, guys. Look at this beauty. We don't have that every winter all over the January, but yeah. Oh god, I forgot to charge my battery, so it's now several hours later. The sun went down, the coloring is different, but I hope it's still fine. And before we jump into the video, I just want to make a quick notification. If you have any suggestions, if I forgot something, please leave me this in a comment down below. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm really curious to know. And links, as much as I can possibly find, to all the things I'm gonna be talking about, I'll be leaving them in description down below, so please check that out and use it. And if by the end of this video you will still have some questions, you can find me on Facebook. It's Marina Cholayam, and you can write a direct message to me, and I will try my best to help you, just because I want to volunteer. And yeah, I want this industry to grow, because I think we are northern people have something to share, and yeah, I'm open to it. So number one thing that you have to decide for yourself is which season you want to come. And there is some activities that's not really available and you can't really absorb to the fullest during summertime, but to be honest, summer, spring and autumn is kind of sucks in Murmansk. I would definitely recommend January and even the second part of January, because as you probably know, we have a polar day and polar night. So during summer we have 40 days of just sun in the sky all day long, and during winter time we have 40 days of just night, complete night. And the second part of January is finally the time when we can see the first sun beams in the sky, and it's really warm toned and beautiful. And also just be aware that this is usually the coldest months of the year. It's minus 25 degrees Celsius, and because of the climate specific, it's probably even feel even colder, but it's beautiful. And yeah, that's why you come here in the first place, okay? To freeze the hell out of yourself and enjoy the nature. So just for example, you accept my advice and you came during winter time. So of course, Five Corners Square is the main square of the city. It's all with the lights, it's all beautiful, and I've seen a bunch of tourists walking back and forth in neighborhood of the square. But there is a lot of other things that you can explore in Murmansk. There's a bunch of monuments, for example, Alyosha monument is kind of the most famous one, and also from the place where it stands you can see the beautiful view to the whole city and to the Gulf Coast. Also Zdushaya monument, it's Zdushaya means in Russian the girl who, or woman who waits for somebody, but this specific monument, it's about the girl who waiting for her sailor to come back. Also around the Semenovskaya lake bus station and the lake itself, there is a few things, like for example there is oceanarium with the seals that you can visit. There is a small park, you can ride some childish roller coasters, I guess. There's also a Cat Semen Monument. There is a myth that the cat came back like thousands of kilometers to finally reunion with his family, so that's this monument is about. Also the Korski Bridge, of course, we're really proud of it because we built it for like 12 years and now it's kind of a thing, and it's a really beautiful thing. Actually, you can walk through the whole bridge to another side of the Gulf and take some awesome pictures as well. And also, if you have a car, from the other side of the Kolsky Bridge and the Kolsky Gulf, there is a place called Abramys, it's kind of a promontory, which is not really safe even for our citizens, because it kind of have a reputation of, you know, yeah, not a good place to visit, but the views are amazing, especially when it's dark. If you ever would have a chance, you probably have to visit it. Also, from the other side of the Kolsky Gulf, there is a waterfall on a lake Lavna, which is kind of 15-20 kilometers away from Murmansk. It's a really famous place to visit. It's not that much of a thing, but it's a waterfall, so if you would have a chance and you will have a car, and yeah, just use a Google Maps, and I hope you will not regret it. But actually it's nothing to do here during winter time, it's more like summertime activity, but just keep that in mind, that this is a cool place to visit as well. Oh, also I forgot to mention the lighthouse and like a small park near the Semenovskaya lake. There's a church there and the lighthouse, and again the beautiful view to the city, and you can just walk there and just, yeah, take some cool pictures. Also, my personal preference is view from Maklakova Street, so you can take bus number 18 and pick the station which we'll call Maklakova Street, or sometimes it's called Post, and there's a beautiful view to the lake and the forest in neighborhood. So yeah, there's really cool pictures that you can take there as well. Boop! Is this beautiful or what? And guys, I just completely forgot, I need to pause this video to mention the carrier, or like open stone pit on Ledovaya Lake. It's not the safest place to visit either, but anyways, if you're into those stuff, I will leave the information in description. Yeah. Wow, this winter is so beautiful. Just amazing. Even I am living here amazed, because it's so white and so beautiful. Yeah. And marine station. Maybe it's hard to find for somebody who's not really familiar how to get there, but it's behind the train station. It's like 15 minutes away walking. So yeah, this is a really beautiful place as well. You can see the Ledokol Lenin and stuff like that. So if you're curious about that, Google it, and I will try to find as many information, again, as I told you before, in description down below as I can. Also, in the city itself we have two ski slopes, the south one and another one, but if you're really into skiing and snowboarding, I would pay attention to the northern one, because it's kind of the better one, and you can actually get there without a car, so you just can take urban transport, drive into the Beringa station, just walk like 7-10 minutes and you're already there. There's a bunch of activities there as well. You can rent the equipment for skiing or snowboarding. You can actually rent a little house and firewoods and make some barbecue and just, you know, have some little party or whatever. So yeah, there's a bunch of activities in that place as well. So for the next places I'm going to be talking about, you probably would need to have a car, or to rent a car, or to find a guide with a car, because I find it's really hard for somebody from foraging countries or like tourists, yeah, to find those places without any help. But I have to mention those because they're really cool. And for example, the first one I want to talk about is Ostrich Farm in Molochny settlement, and yeah, it's kind of a bizarre and odd thing to have a ostrich farm in our neighborhood, but yeah, we have one. So the next thing is, of course, Husky Park in Lavozera village. Lavozera is like 3.5 hours away by car from Murmansk, and there is a reindeer riding here, lunch with the local fish, of course, Husky itself, Husky riding and just meeting those little cuties, and there's a bunch of things which connected with the local people who live there, Saami. So there's a museum of history of the Kola Saami and stuff like that. So yeah, if you're into historical and authentic stuff of Kolsky Peninsula, you probably will be curious in that. Also, a little bit further, like 4.5 hours away by car from Murmansk, it's city called Kirovsk. It's really famous in Russia because of its ski slopes. It's really professional ones for snowboarding, for skiing, stuff like that. But it's also famous because of snow village. I don't know how to describe it properly, but it's like a big snow house full of snow and ice sculptures, which are different every single year, and it's a beautiful lighting inside it, so you can take awesome pictures. And it works from December to March, I believe, every single year, so it's really cool thing to visit as well. I don't know if I have to mention that it's because it's too far away from Murmansk, but it's Kivach Reserve. There is also like a bunch of historical things about this reserve, that small museum and a cool waterfall. But if you're like traveling by car, you will be probably curious to visit it. So yeah, just keep that in mind, and this is just information just for the record. Of course, I cannot tell you enough about Teriberka village. It's such a beautiful place in the north of Russia, one of the most beautiful places. And if you're into photography, into landscape photography, you have to visit this place one time in your life, because this is just amazing. But I recommend you to visit it during summertime, just because it's not really safe to camping during winter time, and sometimes the whole transportation here and roads are just blocked with the snow. But yeah, it's so beautiful. If you Google some pictures, you will fall in love immediately, and it would never let you go. So yeah, I hope you will appreciate this place and give it some love. Speaking of summer activities, I would really recommend you to visit Norway during summertime. It's just my personal preference, but I think that you can't really see the whole picture during winter time, and it's really cold again. So if you will be in our area during summertime, please visit Nordkapp. It's the most northern point in Europe. It's really beautiful. There is a lot of fjords, during your trip there, if you're traveling by car, and you can make some camping and visit some cool places like Vadsö, Vardo. So there's also some museums which are dedicated to the witches which were led during the Inquisition. And I don't know, in every small city there is something you can take pictures of and to know the history. I think it's really interesting, and camping is pretty cheap there, so yeah, why not? If you have the possibility, if you have a visa or your passport allows you to travel to Scandinavia without visa, it's really awesome. But if you want to visit Finland, I would definitely recommend you to choose the winter season, just because of the Santa Claus's office, Lapland, all those stuff, all those magical fairy telling, beautiful lights, and atmosphere vibes that you want to grab during this season, holiday season. I would really recommend you to visit it during that time. And there is a bunch of tours from Murmansk. Again, it's like 8 hours away, and you can visit also Rovaniemi, and you can rent some awesome houses in neighborhood in Rovaniemi area. They're really cozy, they have sauna, they're really comfortable, and yeah, I've had only good experience with renting houses there. And Lapland itself, you can take a picture with Santa, which is kind of cost ridiculous amount of money for the one picture, like 30 euros, but again, it's a one-time thing. So yeah, if you're curious, you can visit it as well. I think it's an awesome thing to find some holiday inspiration during New Year's and Christmas times. So it's almost all that I want to talk to you about, and you probably will have the main question about Northern Lights, but I have to disappoint you. You can't really see it in city itself, so probably few strokes, usually green ones in the sky, maybe a little bit of reddish, but to see the full Northern Lights, it's really a miracle, and you should go somewhere in the woods or whatever. And lived in Murmansk since I was born. I was born and raised here, but I've seen it only one time in my life, the, you know, the whole spectrum of the colors and greens and purples and reddish. And yeah, I was like 6 years old or something, and to really have this experience, it just happened by chance. So if you go in there just to see the northern lights, you probably will be disappointed. But despite that, as I mentioned in the whole video previously before, there is a bunch of things that you can explore and that you can absorb. And yeah, I hope you will have some fun whatever season you're coming, but I would definitely not recommend you going here during springtime, because it's usually a mess and we have a snow till May and it's not a really pleasant thing to see. But other than that, please welcome. We are really warm-hearted people, and thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Mwah. Bye!